What's up, Catherine? What's up, Catherine Powell? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What's up, Catherine Powell? What's up, Angela Carter? What's up, Usha? Ebony 757. Look, y'all, I ain't joking. It is not looking good for Diddy, Thomas Dexter Jakes, and anybody who has assaulted, essayed anyone. It ain't looking good. Now, I just finished listening to a vlogger by MVMO. MVMO, obviously, what's up, Popeyes, lived in Dallas. Now, the reason why I know this lady know what she's talking about is because I spent a lot of time in Dallas and the Oak Cliff area. She mentioned that she had a mentor who was very closely connected to Christ for the Nations, which had a big complex and place it was a Bible school in South Dallas, in the Oak Cliff area. And um, and she was saying that her mentor was with TD when, according to her, when he moved to Dallas. And a lot of people knew he was going to be moving to Dallas. So they joined his church. This lady was an older lady in the church, and this lady went to his church. And what she said is, you can come for me. You can try to sue me. But what I have is facts. And she was very resolute on her facts, MVMO. And so I listened to her, and she did not give people's names but initials. And she was saying that it was a guy who was renting a room from this lady, because this lady would rent rooms to Bible students and everything. And so this guy, he was gay. He was gay. She said that, being gay was a little different. If you said you was delivered, then it was true. And he got married, but he confided in this lady about slip ups. And then he said that he knew, according to MVMO, that PD Jakes was gay, according to her recollections. That's what she's saying. It's alleged that that's what, was going on. Now, what is interesting is that there were some more things said, but the lady said that she promised she couldn't tell. She could not tell. And this lady is saying that it's going to come out, and a lot of people are going to be surprised. I definitely believe her when she says that a lot of people, these wives, know already, but because of their lavish lifestyles and stuff, they don't want to give it up. She also said that the two boys were adopted by Jake. Sarita was a teen mother, according to her. She said a lot of stuff. She said a lot of stuff. So she said, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Because it's getting ready to come out. And she believes what has been said about him, because that mentor went to the church. And this is what she said too. The mentor left the church. When all of this stuff started coming out and happening, the mentor left the church. And she said the mentor left the church. And what that man told her really affected her greatly, that she had a stroke, and he put a lot on her. And whatever happened, and I don't know if he had relationships because it was never said, but that person said he was definitely same gender loving, according to MVMO podcast. She also said that they would be praying for the boys, for that homosexual spirit to come out. And they said when they was just about to get to deliverance, that TD, according to her recollection, would walk out. And so it's really interesting. But she was very resolute. And she said, now you can't come for me and sue me because I know you. She said, I know your works. And so, but let me say this. Let me say this. If you got to tell somebody, either you need to tell a licensed therapist who can get sued, or you need to tell Jesus. Because, baby, these church folk gossip. And I don't care how saved they are. I don't care how nice they seem. They got to tell it to somebody. And I have seen it happen too many times where these church folk, people have the right intentions and they want somebody to pray for them and they tell all their business. And the next thing you know, and see, these church folks, something else. Let me give you an example. This lady was in testimony service and she was testifying how she used to steal. Ooh, she used to steal. And the people was, yeah, and how God delivered her. Baby, she sat back in that seat and that old mother put her purse on the other side. Yeah. Mother said, I ain't trying to get you back in your old ways. She said, let me put my pocketbook on the other side. I'm just saying, y'all, these people are human. And I want y'all to know, I don't care how saved and how long people been saved, folks still have a fleshly side. And that which is perfect is not come. And until Jesus come, you ain't perfect. And I'm tired of people playing. Now, let me say this, Castro, you are right. You are right. There is a pastor right now who Larry Reed and King Jives talked about, and and he's a very well known on the Word channel, on the Word channel, and was accused of doing things to young men. And one of the men was in Palatka, Florida. And I believe that man. And some people have unalived themselves because, you know, they think that it was them and they brought it on. And church people blame the victim because they idolize these people, not thinking that these people can't do no wrong. And unfortunately, they blame the victim and they kick them out of church. Now, Vicky Winans' ex-husband, Ronald Brown. Now, this ain't no rumor. This was actually on the news. This was actually on the news that he was doing things to young men in South Carolina. And this ain't new because I know somebody who went to his church who is from Charleston, South Carolina. He and his mama used to travel all the way to Orangeburg, not Orangeburg, but Orangeburg. And he said the same thing. Now, baby, it's a lot of stuff going on. And the only reason he didn't go to jail because he died before the trial started. Before the trial started. Let me say this. It's a lot of ministers out there, married ministers, married bishops and supervisors and superintendents and doing a whole lot of things. And just because somebody is married, that doesn't mean that they are not doing things. Just because a woman is married, let me get off the men. Just because a woman is married, that don't mean she ain't a lesbiterian. And let me tell you something, it's a lot of lesbiterians hooping and hollering in the pulpit. Now, y'all can talk about your Yvette Flanders, but Yvette Flanders is living in her truth. But a lot of y'all up there hooping and hollering and munching kula after you preach. And I'm just being real. Because we'll jump on the men. We'll jump on the men because that's an easy target. But it's a lot of these women, a lot of them. And they are the first ones to call a male the S word and the F word, knowing good and well they like women. I'm going to leave it right there. Baby, I could look at some of them Kojic people, these Kojic missionaries, and all of them ain't anyhow in Jesus' name. And it seems like the more fundamental the church are, the church is, the stricter they are, the worse they are. You would not believe how many apostolic, baby. Look, let me tell you something. I lived in an apostolic stronghold. I lived in Ohio, and you would not know how many of them apostolic folk was trying to holler. But yet they was asking, was you merged in Jesus' name? Okay, don't get me started. So again, all I'm saying is, yeah. Now, Castro, in your town, it's deep. That's all I'm gonna say. All I can say is ABC and Philander Smith. My God. ABC and Philander Smith. Mm. And I'm gonna move on. Let me stop, baby. Let me stop. Oh Jesus, that little rock is it's more than a little rock, all right. But I'm gonna leave it right on. I'm gonna leave it right on alone in Jesus' name. What's up, Benzo? But anyway, it's a lot of lipstick lesbians and the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. But it's the religious schools that's something else. Let me tell you something, Ebony 757, baby. I used to go to the midnight musicals at Mount Carmel, and baby, it was more than the musicals going on at the midnight musicals. Okay, let me tell you something. Them Kojic churches, baby, you would be scared if you didn't have a handler, baby. You'll be scared to go up in there. Come on now, Ebony. You know I lived in Virginia. You know I know. And let me say this, y'all. The sad part about it is this. Let me say this. It is almost safer to go to a club than some of these churches and some of these musicals. Because baby, you would get a date quicker at the musical and at the church service quicker than you could at the club. As we are. Ebony Impact. Hold on. Ebony Impact. As we are. I used to ask when they would sing, I was like, well, how are you? And they used to get mad because they had a group called As We Are. And I'm like, okay, how are you then? All right, I'm just, you got a group called As We Are. I'm like, and how are you then? And some of these folks still alive. Some of these folks still alive. But now, Ebony, I heard that man got his teeth cleaned. Now, this ain't no fault to this man. This ain't no fault to this man. But people who live in Franklin, Virginia, they're known to have yellow teeth because it's a paper plant. Excuse me. It's a paper plant in Franklin, Virginia. And I guess some of the paper plant stuff get in the water. And baby, I could tell people from Franklin because they had that ugly stain across their teeth. And I'm like, you from Franklin, Virginia? And they were like, yeah, how you know? I'm like, because you got that ugly. I ain't say it, but in my mind, I'm like, I know. But they had that ugly stain across their teeth. But they say he got that off. So praise the Lord. In Smithfield too. Now, I knew some people from Smithfield. And it was more in Franklin than Smithfield. But okay then. Ooh, they used to have them brown and that. Ooh, Ebony. Get anyway. So this vlogger MVMO said that it's gonna come out, and she said, please do not be offended, but it's gonna come out. Now, Claudia Jordan is speaking too. She said that it's a lot of these producers, a lot of these people be putting stuff in folk drinks to get them all woozy. She said she found a friend in the bathroom woozy, and she asked who did this, and the name was the same. Claudia said that somebody asked her to take her clothes off. She said she would have probably had a deal had she done it, but she said no. That's Claudia. She said absolutely not. So again, you have a lot of people coming out, and she stands behind Christian Keys. And she said everybody's not going to say a name. She said people got to be ready. And that's true to an extent. But my thing is, I understand you're the victim, but remember, those millionaires or billionaires, because there's only a few black billionaires who are men, those black billionaires who have not done those things are being scrutinized. And that's not fair to them. I would rather you say who it is not. Don't that make sense? It's not him. It's not him. And move on. And move on. But to have people speculating because we don't know, that ain't right. So Ebony said, I'm appalled how at Aretha Franklin 14 having church was hushed. Yes, they were. But Aretha Franklin's daddy was doing everything. They said that man could throw a party. And they said everybody was there. Everybody. They said it was a very much EEOC. You could be a lesbian. You could be same gender loving. You could love whatever you wanted to. They said his parties was for everybody. They said it was United Nations of love over there, a lust or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they said he was pretty much a character. Now, Catherine Powell, I remember that one. I remember that one. I remember that Creflo Dollar one, and ooh, that was deep. That was deep. And let me say this. Oh Lord, yeah, y'all, it's a mess. This is all I'm saying. It's a mess, and these are the big pastors. So you can imagine in small towns where this stuff happens, because it happens in small towns. And the sad part about it is, and I'm gonna say this: the more fundamental the town, the more fundamental the place, the worse the people are. Because when people are repressed and told that they can't, then they want to. And I'm telling you, um, I'm looking at some of these people who really dog out same gender loving and all of that, but I guarantee you that people in their ranks are doing it as well. Again, y'all, and this is no slight to the Apostolic Church, because that organization is phenomenal, but Apostolic, PAW, all of them, Bible Way, some of them men were the most freakiest because they are the most repressed. And I'm telling you, and you would be surprised. You would be surprised of what goes on. But what they will do is sit there and when a preacher talks about it, ooh, they'll be the first one on their feet. Tell it, Bishop, and they doing it. Anyway, I'm gonna move right along. But I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to beat up the church. It's not. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. And this lady who was talking about TD Jakes, her name is MVMO. These allegations are according to her, and she said that you can sue her if you want to. She said, but she knows that her facts are solid. And of course she was in Dallas, and her mentor was in Dallas, and it is some deep stuff. It's some deep stuff. It's some deep stuff, you all. And she talked about it. And this stuff was going on way before he blew up like he is now. This is when they were first moving to Dallas. She said that she had interactions with the son, the one who got caught in the park. She said that he brought his friend, which she said she knew was his boyfriend, and he told her to look out for him to make sure nobody bothers him. That's how close this lady was. She actually went to the church. So yeah, what's up, Lady Bubbly LaBeija? Mm-hmm. See, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. See, in his story, he worked at the Union Carbide plant, and he was in West Virginia. And let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. Let me say this to Mind, Body, and Soul. If he was doing that, if he was doing that, Charleston, West Virginia ain't no bigger than 65,000 people. Ooh, Jesus. Mm. It ain't no but 65,000 people. It ain't that big. People know people in Charleston know folk in Beckley and Morgantown. That's how many black people in West Virginia. It ain't that big. So, she said, mind, body, and soul, I'm on the floor rolling. You just snatched my respirator. She said, I do. Mind, body, and soul said, we went to his church to visit. Miss TD Snakes got it going on, honey. I got to call my brother, Professor Griff, and see what's up. So, mind, body, and soul, you knew them. We went to his church to visit. Well, interesting. So what evidence that he was doing an old nasty piece of George Santos? Because I don't know. I find that hard to believe. Because he ain't cute as a man. I just can't see him dressing up in a wig. You sure? Is you sure? What is your receipt? What is your proof? Because not, baby, everybody jumping on. Oh my God, I think the B sectors want a bang with T sectors. So what's going on with these scams and fox of lies? Jay Dunn coming at my girl Roxy verse no. And now Lady Nika, we going to what? Okay, I don't know what's going on, baby. I've been out. Now hold on for a minute. Girl, look at James. I'm not going there. That was a sneaky. No, stop. Y'all stop. Y'all being a little messy. Let me say this. I think Jaguar Wright is credible. As high as he be, I think Orlando Brown is credible. I think Cat Williams is credible. And I think Hollywood always tries to make people who are credible crazy because they know what they're talking about. And in the gospel world, in the church world, they try to make you carnal and all of this stuff, baby. It's just a hot mess. Y'all something else today. Oprah, girl, is getting hot. People are saying you didn't invite Whoopi, and Whoopi is an integral part of the color purple. My tall, handsome, educated nephew used to travel. Nephew used to travel consult. And when he came out, revealed he serviced pastors across the country, baby. Oh my God. Yes, exactly. Because, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. My God, today. Let me say this, y'all. Flight attendants, hotel clerks, people who do massages, they be knowing. We knew Ricky Martin was gay long before he came out because we used to see him on the plane with his partner sitting together in first class. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. We knew already. Let me tell you something. I was a good flight attendant. I did my job. I went home. First of all, I didn't live in the same city that I flew out of. So I was based in New York. I lived in another town. So yeah. But baby, we had flight attendants who were porn stars. Child, it is what it is. No, I wouldn't lie about that. People from Charleston, West Virginia know about this. Ooh, people from Charleston know about it. Okay, Charleston ain't that big. It ain't Oprah, is Oprah. Oprah. Wow. Well, she's doing a lot. and she seems very vindictive. It seems like if you do something to her or what she don't like, she really tries to come for you. So yeah. Oh, now I don't know who this red lady is, but she's friends with Cassie, and she is saying that she has seen Cassie being verbally abused. She's seen some black eyes. She was saying that, according to Miss Red, and now this was on NBC News. Now you know it's getting ready to get hot because Hulu done dropped Puffy, and they're thinking about not even inviting him to these award show to the award shows. Okay, but Miss Red has said that she's seen. They said that Cassie had to hide her black eye with makeup because she's been physically. You saw that? You saw that interview, Michelle's daughter? I synced it too. And she said that they had to have a freak off. And Cassie was involved with freak offs, and he would sit and watch, according to Miss Red in that NBC video interview. And she was really hurt because she said to think that my music was played because she had to do a freak off. And that's how the music got done with Cassie. Okay. And I was like, wow. And obviously, some people believe her too, because Hulu has dropped. Now, let me say something too. It's a lady named BD, I believe. Okay. Well, she spoke it. And so let me say it's a lady named BD. And BD talks about she gets the behind the scenes stuff. She's a Caucasian woman, but she talked about Usher and Usher's mama, and she has footage and stuff. And I mean, this lady does some serious investigative journalism or vlogging or whatever you want to call it. And she was saying it's two sides to Usher. She said because she listened to Usher's story, but it ain't all true. She said because the group Usher was in Tennessee, and I believe it was either Chattanooga. She said that they were actually in a group, and and Usher was the lead singer with this other guy, but Usher mama wanted him to be the lead singer, and it was a no. And they even had shirts, and he was saying that Usher wore a white shirt to make him stand out above everybody. He was supposed to wear a yellow shirt. Girl, I mean down to the shirts. This lady said that the boys said that Usher's mama went down to Atlanta. She worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it was in the same building as LaFace. And she knew the janitor, and he gave them the tapes. I mean, it gets really detailed in this. And then it talks about how Usher had to drop his mama because his mama was doing things and Usher didn't appreciate it. And they talked about Diddy's Flavor Camp and how Usher was exposed to too many things and he was over sexual for a child his age. And how did Usher have custody? I mean, how did P. Diddy have custody of Usher? And then, it's deep. And they were saying P. Diddy wasn't even a part of LaFace. So why is L.A. Reid shipping Usher to P. Diddy Flavor Camp? Baby, it was a hot mess. Ooh, that lady was very thorough. Very thorough. And she was saying that Usher has a story, but there's another story. And baby, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And now people even question, there are question marks of was Usher's marriage and his relationship with the young lady in TLC. Was that real? Because let me say something that happened now, and it was really interesting. Usher was dating, was it Naomi Campbell? He was dating a model. And what happened was she wasn't getting paid, and she came out to say that, baby, she was just getting paid to hang out with Usher. See, it's a lot of stuff. See, let me tell you something. These Olivia Pope people, they bank on you forgetting. They bank on you forgetting. I haven't forgotten about that situation with that model and Usher. Okay, but she wasn't getting paid, and she was pissed off, and she came out and told it. I remember that. I remember them HPs. Wendy Williams came. Let me tell you something. She had a Wendy Williams clip when Wendy Williams was on talking about something, let it burn, let it burn. And Wendy Williams was questioning that man, who got real quiet because it was a man involved in that lawsuit. And it got real hush hush. I'm just saying. I don't know what it was. But I will say, when Usher was on, what's that man's name? Howard Stern show. They was talking about the women. They were talking about the women, and Usher said he explicitly said it was a lot of things. It went only women. It's a lot of things. Y'all need to listen to some of these clips, baby. Now, let me say this. Wendy Williams did get fired when she was talking about Puffy in New York. I remember when Wendy was in New York, she was brutal and vicious, and she did get fired. But again, there's, you know what it is. Y'all, look. There's a lot of things going on. And I just think that this situation with Cassie has caused a lot of people to start saying, okay, screw this. Now, this thing with Taraji P. Henson. You know, it's unfortunate that she has to complain before people believe it, even though Monique told us already. Oh, Lady LaBeija coming up here. All right, let me go ahead and put it on up here. I just think it's sad that Monique had to go through all of this, and then I like P. Henson, Taraji P. Henson, but people like Taraji, and I believe Taraji, and I am tired of people saying that black women shouldn't get paid. Those are not my issues. Those are millionaire problems. Now I heard fucking Dineva say this, and I get it, but again, it's not important to you until it happens to you. And this is not only in Hollywood, but it's in corporate America. Period. And it's just wrong. And it devalues black talent. So when you allow people to devalue you, then it says that we should settle for crap too. So if we know that we are worth an amount, and somebody let me go ahead. It's just like you knowing that you are worth $95,000 plus, but somebody offers you 35 and you take it because that's all they offering you, but you know that you 95K and they got the 95K. You know why you know they got the 95K? Because Bobby or Gareth, who applied for the same job, got 95K. You know that he got 95K, but they want to give you 35. And you got to eat. You got to pay the mortgage. You got to pay the rent. So you take it, hoping that it's going to get better. And that's how we need to see that. I know these people millionaires, but that's how we need to look at that. Yeah, that chat GPT is going to kill a lot of folk. Hold on, let me see who up here. Number one lady. Okay, hold on for a minute, baby. Let me put my little brand on. Okay, let me put you, because I don't want no miss. What's up?
Child, please, they don't want to start. Y'all revering Wendy Williams, honey. Honey, I will spill all the tea, okay? Because I had Kevin first. Let's get
You
into it, okay?
you had
Huh?
Kevin first. What?
I had Kevin first. Okay, she went and took him trying to be funny, and he got taken. It's funny how the tables turn.
So I got a
Turn.
question. So are you from New York area?
I'm in New York, honey. I am the Big Apple, the green snapple. Let's
Okay,
get
you
it.
the big not the Queen Snapple. Okay, now get
But
into it.
yeah, you are so cute, Jay Wilson. Yes, honey. But yeah, these girls don't want me. Miss Usher, go sit down, honey. Because we know you and Jermaine Dupri, darling, had that agreement, boo. hmm They know I don't play. I don't care. Because I know all of them from way back when. Shall we start? From Sam Cooke to Etta J. Let's go. Okay, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. What's good?
So I got a question. So now let's establish some credibility because I believe that people need to know that you're credible. Now you don't have to expose who you, but are you in the industry and what did you do in the
I
industry?
was, but I'm not getting as big. I'm not getting as big as I should have been because see, these people are very fake and very phony. Y'all look up the Fantastic Five or the L Brothers, and you will see MC Smiley. That is me. Okay, now we're gonna leave it
Okay.
there. And I'm still around the industry, but I just ain't playing to be an instrument or a trumpet. Okay.
So you were in the music industry, and
Yes, sir.
so you've seen all of the ins and outs. So with
I
all of
know
this,
the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs, the turnarounds, the twist arounds, the beards, the leards, the lizards, this child, please, okay? They don't want
wow.
me. They don't
So
want me.
so so now so do you think that this Cassie situation has just opened the floodgate to everybody just saying who is what and what's going on?
Um, and she did, but as you see now, Christian Keys, because I know who Christian Keys is talking about, and I'm trying to talk to him on a one-on-one basis because I don't want to reveal the tea. Because who I'm thinking of, I ain't got nothing to say about that, but I will say this. A lot of this industry stuff deals with I don't know if you remember the Atlanta child murders. A lot of people like Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, and all of them, they were getting turned out too. They would turn each other out. This thing goes into the church with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all, okay? And I said what I said. Now, anybody want to come test me? What's
So
good?
so how do you know these people's getting turned out? Because like I said, some of these people before my time.
Well,
So
yeah, they were, but I'm a little older than people think. And see, I know Venus Taylor, one of the mothers in the Chicago city. And see, she will let all the cat out the bag. I'm trying to get her up here. When I get her, I'll send her over to you, okay? Because she can tell you everything that her and Dick Gregory did together, okay?
oh, not
Because
Dick
people get,
Gregory, not not
yes,
not the
child,
Bahamian
you
diet,
forget
not the
to.
juice man,
Yes,
not
here
the
comes the
Bahamian
Gregory, honey.
diet
Yes,
man.
honey. Yes, honey. Okay? Because they don't
Oh
want me
my
to
God.
start
Well, let me
talking.
say this. Let me say this. Let me say this for my protection. The views expressed on this show is not that of the host. Okay, I just want to put that on
Yeah.
out there. But we're just getting
Mhm.
this tea. But not Dick Gregory.
Child, Dick's up the Gregory. Yes, this is all Lady LaBeija, aka Lady Sparkle. My main page got copyright strike, so I'm on my backup. But yes, y'all pay attention. These people are snakes, fakes. Cassie, I believe she participated in a lot of things, but I'm not
Well,
sure.
she
I
said she
know.
did. Wait a minute. No, she said she did. It is in the lawsuit that said she participated in a lot of things. And Sexy Red, Lady Red, whatever her
Oh,
name
that
is.
no, she ain't no. I'm Lady Red Sparkle. I don't know where these people come. Just like that fake Sparkle girl. You don't want me either. I'm the real
Well, she
Sparkle.
said
Okay.
that Cassie was doing things to. She said that's how business got done. It was a
Yeah,
freak
she probably was
section.
peer pressured, and then they did. I mean, being around these celebrities, so you think? See, that's why I was trying to question, like, Christian, why are you waiting so long to come out with this? Because then people don't think you believe. Well, when the R. Kelly storm started, and Janice Dickinson, Bill Cosby storm started, and Janice Dickinson bring her wreck. Lord, let me not. They come out 50 years, 100 years, and then want to act like they need tears and sympathy. Child, please, okay. Stop.
Well,
Just stop. Like
well, I'm
some of
gonna
y'all
tell
need
you
to
what
stop.
though. A lot of people say these folk are powerful. They hold keys to a lot of stuff, and people are really kind of leery of crossing a lot of these people. Again, you
No,
see
I
what happened to
understand that.
Wendy Williams when she was talking about Puff, and the
Child,
next thing you know, she's in Philadelphia.
Wendell Williams, okay, and her and Puffy are two sides of the same coin. He don't want me to start either. Okay? Why you changing your identity, trying to act like you somebody you ain't. Don't ever get me twisted, sir. Cause I've been going off on all y'all, Diddy and everybody, for years, and ain't nothing ever happened and ain't gonna happen to be. Now what's good? Cause Miss
So my
Janice,
question is, though, you were in the music industry, so why didn't you go as far as you thought you should have gone?
because I was not willing to play the game. See, Wendy tried it. See, she ain't telling all her tea. She telling everybody else tea, but she ain't telling her tea. How she child, please. I have to sit down with you, Jay Wilson, for real, and give an exclusive, okay? But like I said, Kevin know what's up. And to that person over there trying to act like she getting an interview with him, he gonna tell you anything. Because these people don't want to be out the closet. They want to stay in there, put on wigs, dresses, and try to be hot messes with mustache, beards, and everything else. But see, you don't know. It's like Jaguar don't know about Diddy and Tupac and all of these people, but you running around. See, I'm the one that can say it because I can stand in their face and say it. Can you? No.
Now, my question to you is: so I remember the Tasha K interview with the young
Yeah,
man who alleged that he had relationships with Kevin, and I never
that's a
forget
lie. That was my excuse me. That was my story, and he took it and annihilated on it. And this that they want boy toys and things of that nature. I got a friend. Matter of fact, let me see if I can personally call Tony Newman, who had relations with Kevin Hunter and Wendell Williams. Okay, got paid $500, 300 for Mistress Carmen, and 200 for herself. Hold on one second. Let me find my. Hold on. Cause y'all gonna hear this live because we're not doing this today. Tomorrow,
okay,
tonight, or any other time. What's good?
okay,
Cause
all
I'm
right,
ready. I'm
all
ready
right.
tonight. And let me tell y'all, my uncle just passed, and I'm y'all better be very careful how y'all play with me, cause I will give y'all each of his pain, okay? Cause I'm sick of this. These people think people just gotta lie. I see all these fakes coming out, lying and denying. I'm telling it like it is, okay? Cause I. Hello. Hey Tony, what's up, booby? How are you? I'm good. How are you? Girl, what's up? I'm on live real quick. So you said that you have relations with Kevin and Wendy, with Mistress Carmen, your friend, right? No. Oh, you didn't? No. Oh, okay. Nothing. No, we don't know nothing. Heard, but don't know anything. Oh, you heard about it? Yeah, because I was messing with Kevin and I just want to know because see, people think I was lying and things. So, I just want to make sure that I didn't hear what I heard. Okay. Let's get you in the dark. We'll come out. Oh, girl, please. We know how that go, child. Because what do you think about
Well,
this
what's
Diddy?
in the
Well,
dog, honey? What's
hold
in the
on one second.
dog,
Hold on one second. Hold on,
child?
Jay.
What's in the
Hold,
dog? You said what's in the
that's my
dog will come out.
one of
What's
your
in the
people
dog?
lady.
What's in the
He said, what's
dog?
in the dark, child? Listen, Tony, huh? I'm in the car. Oh, okay, you're in the car. All right, but I got a question. What do you think about the Diddy thing? You think he gonna go down or what's up? I don't know. Child, it's a mess, but we'll talk. I love you, baby. Girl, please. All right, I love you, boo. Yeah, she don't want to talk. She in the car, so she might be doing things, but trust me. Go look up that'shot.com. She exposed Mr. C, Miss Eddie Murphy, who's from the area that I was in. Okay? Child, please. Okay, they don't want it.
My
But
goodness, what it sound? But he did say what's in the dark will come out in the light.
yeah,
So I was
exactly.
just
And
trying to find out what
she
was in the
asked with
dark.
LL. I should have asked about LL because she will say yes to that. Because she was
Mm.
ready to take a polygraph test and everything. Y'all go look up
Well, let me say
that'shot.com.
this though. Like I said, I don't know these folk, and like I said, the views are here, not those of the
Yeah,
host.
they
But
our
I
views and
will
our
say
stories.
that a
Hmm.
lot of entertainers have fixers and a lot of people to make what's wrong right. And
Yeah, but like Mary, like publishers, because people keep coming at Mary J. Blige. She's now a new target. And they were saying why Misa Hilton. It was the triple three. It was Misa, Kim, and Mary. Okay, Faith just happened to come along and do with her alleged powder donuts. Girl, please, these people don't want me. I can't. And Stevie Gay, don't even start, honey, because you want to play. Because Miss Thing said she has her friend who you was twirling with. Mm-hmm. 2 years before you got on Love and Flip Flops. Don't try me.
So
Okay.
my question is, so now are these just are these trans men? Are these men in houses? I mean,
They
what
do
type?
boys. They listen. They do boys. They do young boys. They groom them. They do trans women, who which we are, and they do things, but they don't. People don't want their biggest secrets in the light. They want
Now,
to pertain
I
it.
heard a
And
lot of people like trans women, and
well, they
again,
love us,
we
honey.
are
They
finding
love
out
us,
about the
honey.
trans women. Like I believe Malik Yoba and some people,
Well, he did come out, so that ain't really no secret. He did come out.
Well,
They
it's
still
not,
trying to
but the
question.
thing is, we didn't know until it happened. So it seems like a
Yeah.
lot of people. So you're saying that a lot of trans men, I mean not trans men, but you're saying a lot of young men and a lot of trans women are really the focus of a lot of these Hollywood insiders. I mean these Hollywood players.
Of course, there's the women or the beards, and that's where they get it messed up. Like, oh, that's why this trans women thing versus real women thing. It ain't no thing. Obviously, you can, if a person that's genetically born male, such as myself, but we aspire to, enhance ourselves and be who we feel we should be,
Hmm.
then it is what it is. But it ain't no hate, ain't no shit. I love Tracy down. I love, a lot of the natural women down, but don't come with that. Oh, y'all trying to imitate us. Y'all trying to take over. We can't take over something that's there. Y'all are the natural blueprint. Y'all should be happy that we aspire. We have the stories and lives like that will blow your mind. Eddie Murphy would never think, oh, I'm gonna get caught, and then all of a sudden the trans got caught. Found a year later, supposed to have been jumping off the roof because I guess she couldn't handle it. That's how they're gonna make us look. Oh, they look crazy, like this monster that's running around YouTube. Y'all ain't saying Jaguar look crazy. She unalive, excuse me,
But I'm
allegedly
gonna say
unalive
this
her
though.
own.
Let me say this about Jaguar though, and I
Oh
understand.
God,
Well, but
diaper
this is the
rash.
thing. This is the thing though. What she's saying is not off like Orlando Brown is saying. It seems like these people know. They may not know as much as you know, but it seems like they
She,
know.
yeah. Let me say this about Jaguar. Jaguar takes. Let me tell you something. Hold on one second. I don't even know if he gonna answer. Let me call Jean, cause see, I keep telling this whore to stop saying my man's name. I don't know what her problem is. She ain't started speaking out on Diddy till Jean started speaking out on Diddy. Okay, and we not doing it. 646. His things are. But listen, Jaguar listened to a lot of things. Just like now, she's on this Diddy Cassie story. At first, she was on Patti LaBelle and James Wright and all of this, that, and the third. Oh, Patty got ran through by the Temptations. Check out Davin Lewis, y'all. Davin Lewis said that was David Ruffin, and the police questioned him about Patty, and I don't even know what happened to that. But what she does, she sits there and listens to people's stories, then tries to enhance it, and that's what Tasha K was trying to be. I was supposed to originally interview with Tasha K. That interview that Avion did and came out and had to face the truth.
Somebody
I was
said,
supposed
"Did you just call Gene Deal?"
I sure did. Yes, I did. Because I have his real number. See, the people think I'm playing. I'm not the one or the two. I'm the six and the nine. What's good?
Okay, not the six
Mm-hmm.
and the nine. Okay, now.
That's how they six and the nine. But see, these people, Jaguar sits and she listens to people. Oh, now she's on now her new target. KRS-One, watch out. You are new target. You a child, please. This person is a destruction to herself. Yeah, she may seen some things. She was in the industry for 2 seconds. Uh, uh, sabotaged her daughter. Then she went. Excuse me, her son. Then she went, throwing her ashes, mixed with cigarette ashes, on them people at the barbershop. That's what not makes you credible. You went with Jay Z for 2 seconds only because Mary J. Blige got sick and couldn't come to the thing, and then you took that 2 ounce of fame. You went there and tried to defame Talib Kweli, trying to get back at your ex husband. Child, girl, she ain't credible either. She sits there and listens. So y'all listen to Jaguar with a grain of an inch of salt, okay? Because she got her own story. Go look at that Tasha K surviving Jaguar. You want to cut your hair like Tasha, did all kind of craziness. You are sick, lady. You
What are
are
they
sick.
saying
It's like
about KRS-One? Because I like KRS-One.
Karen Russell, when she's trying to say, oh, he need to come on now, keep it a bean, whatever podcast that freak is on. He need to come up here because the 50th hip hop should have been with him. And girl, when I thought you was in the industry for 2 seconds with the roots. No, you got a root put on you, and that's why you acting a fool. Okay? Because you got a root put on you, fool. And you keep talking about Diddy and TD shakes, okay? TD snakes. You gonna find yourself somewhere. See, I can do it because I don't give a child. Let me be quiet, girl. Let me say this: Diddy mother was involved with a lot of things. She tried to seduce Gene. Okay, she tried to seduce Gene, and you raggedy whore. Let me tell you something. While you seducing, don't think that trafficking doesn't have an expiration date because you got Diddy father killed, sweetheart. hmm
Oh my God! So
Now, well,
this is
yeah,
alleged, and
okay.
like I said, the views expressed
Oh,
here.
yeah. Let me pause. I'm getting another call. Jesus. Go ahead.
Okay, the views expressed here are not those of the host. Okay, I just want to say that. Who this? Who this? Now, y'all, he told y'all who he was, and he was in the industry. But Lord Jesus, my God, oh my God, who is this? Who is this? Oh my God, who this? Oh, okay, hold on, y'all. I'm just as much as in shock as you all. This is New York T. My homeboys told me some of these stories. Okay, so okay, it's just really interesting with all of this stuff. And like I said, I'm listening. I'm not saying it's true or false. I'm just listening to this story. And these stories are something else. I mean,
Yeah, it's a mess, child. It's a mess here, but I
so
gotta
my
go.
question is, people want to know how credible you are because a lot of people are saying, "Who is this? Where did this person come from? How did this person just pop up on here? How can we know what this person is saying is true?" And this is what these people are saying.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't have to lie about anything, and I want any one of them, these celebrities, to come. I've been saying this stuff for years. Okay, I've been saying this stuff for years. Hold on 1 second. Let me call Griff real quick, since I'm gonna show you how credible I am. Greetings. You've reached Professor Griff of Public Enemy. Hey, Griff, give me a call when you get this message. Message is too short. Oh, shit. Record your message after the tone. Simply hang up when done. Or for delivery options, press the pound sign. Hey, Griff, when you get this message, give me a call, please. Smiley, thank you. To replay your message, press. Hey, Griff, do I need to go on? Because I can call DJ Hollywood and a few others too. Oh, okay. I don't need to go. I don't have to lie about these people. I don't care about these people. Please.
Mm, interesting. I missed what was said about Atlanta child murders. What is the connection?
Well, I know you older, so you might have heard of it or know about it. But yeah, Frank Sinatra and all of them neighbors getting paid. It's a lot. It's a lot. But this industry goes hand in hand with children. This industry goes hand in hand with a lot of things. And see, I'm not scared to say. You see what Tony said? What's done in the dark gonna come to the light, and it is.
Now,
It's coming to
I
the
do
light.
believe the children thing because a lot of these child stars have been really messed up in the brain. The only reason why Kim Fields and a lot of people have not been messed up because Chip Fields was very integral and she wouldn't let her daughter do
Yeah.
anything.
Chip wasn't no chip.
Chip wasn't
Chip
playing with her
wasn't
child.
no. Yeah, just I thought you. And then you was talking about Miss Usher, honey, and Janetta Pat Chaplin. Janetta, was you getting paid off too? Because obviously, how you gonna let somebody take over your child, your rights, girl? By girl, you was getting paid off too, just like R. Kelly, them parents. Let me tell you something. I was supposed to interview with Angelo Clary. He flaked out. Flaked out. Chaplin. These people got a lot going on. Okay, a lot
Mm,
going on. But see,
mm.
I tell it like it is. I don't need no credibility. Y'all see why I just called 3 celebrities. I ain't got time for that. Because child, I said what I said. If you want to try and see a lot of these people that's trying to discredit me and others, they're trying to get in the industry and don't know what they're getting into. Because you have to sacrifice people, okay, and not know nobody's off the street. You got to get the most people that you would die for, okay. And I'm telling you firsthand what I know and what I seen. Just like Aaliyah and them. That affected Mary J a lot. A lot.
I do think a lot of people have said the industry. So I was listening to Dave Chappelle when he was talking about Martin. What would make Martin do this? Here's a man who was on top of the world, but saying they're trying to kill, unalive me. Then he talks about Mariah Carey. I remember when Mariah Carey bought that ice cream cart and was passing out ice cream on TRL because she just had signed that big deal, and she was just like, she was off. I'm like, is she okay? So again, I think a lot of people don't
You sound like,
understand that.
wait, Jay, you sound like Tracy. Are you okay?
Well, but I mean, it was she was very off. You could tell she
Yeah,
was
yeah.
off, and something
Why
was
you know why
wrong.
she's on? Because she won't pay her sister, the one that's dying of the sad stigma of the House of Virginia thing. But it's a lot. And I think a lot of, like, cause she been through a lot too with Tommy Mottola and all of that nonsense. It's a lot. See, people don't know that a lot of these stars, they've been through a lot of things, but some things they try to add on once they get to a certain, they publicists, like you said, and the people that gotta rewrite stories in 10 minutes for them and things of that nature. They've been through a lot, and what they do is they'll add some of their real truths and then they'll mix up some of their lies. See, I
Angela
think I
Carter
could do
said,
that.
if he knows, ask him to explain about the three doors.
Oh, the three door child. No, Nori already explained it. What I gotta explain? Fat Joe explained it. Should I play this interview that Wendy did with Nicole, the transsexual, that said Fat Joe got a tranny in his video? Lean back. Oh, okay. And trust me, they all
Well, but
dipped
I
and
don't know
dabbled.
about the three doors. What is the three doors?
The
I
three
don't
door
know
is supposed to
about
be
it.
the sacrifice door where you can't learn to live somebody. Like I said, you bend over or get bent over, or you bend the child. And the last door is I forgot what the last door is, but yeah, people talking, but they only gonna talk so much. See, I say what I say, and I mean what I say. Period. But
My
yeah,
God.
it's three door.
Angela
My
Carter,
God,
did
today.
that answer your question, Angela Carter, about the three doors?
Yeah.
So
I didn't get to
we're
none of the doors
so
because guess what? I'm not on all fours, honey. And if I was, they're gonna have to pay me, pay me, pay me, pay me. I mean, not no 10,000, 100,000, 5 million.
mm.
Girl, bye. I
So
ain't got
were you
time.
a vocalist? Were you a singer, dancer?
I was the MC Smiley from the L Brothers off of the Fantastic Five.
Oh.
I just
So
can't. It's a lot.
so now are you in the New York area? Because it seems like you know the New York rap scene.
Yes, I am in the New York area. In New York. Well, I'm in the Bronx, New York, but I'm in the New York area.
Oh, the
You know.
Boogie Down Bronx.
Yes,
Okay.
and I'll see a lot of people like Melly Mel and a few others. It's a lot that goes into it. I'll have to sit down with you almost a whole day just to tell
Yeah,
you half of
yeah.
this stuff. But this
It
is
seems like a lot of stuff is going on. And again, let me say this. I know what Usher said about being in Diddy's flavor camp.
oh yes, honey, I seen that, but
But
nah.
this is really interesting though. I now this is me personally, and I'm not saying that anything happened, but I was a little uncomfortable with how close Usher was with Justin Bieber. That bothered me.
Well, I heard Justin. Is it Justin Bieber? Like it's two of them: Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake. I think
No.
Justin
This is Bieber. This is the
Bieber, the
little,
younger one.
yeah.
Somebody was saying he was racist or something allegedly, and that he.
But I just know that Usher brought him in, and like I said, it was almost deja vu, the story, and again, he was managing people, and it seems like singers go into management.
Mm. Yeah, but that's what they
Somebody
do. They
said you
bring
know
younger
a
ones in.
lot, but receipts prove facts. Oh
Oh,
my.
child. Like I said, if them three calls wasn't receipt enough, and I got another one, but I gotta go because I'm doing. I gotta run and do something. I'm dealing
Okay.
with my uncle's arrangements and things. And thank you all, you guys, for the prayers and condolences. But yeah, it's a lot that goes by. But I'm gonna sit down with you one day, Jay Wilson,
Okay.
because baby, I know you know that word, honey. I know a lot of people hate on you, but child, I
I
can't.
mean, the word is the word, and my thing is not. This is why I'm not surprised with a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
People are people, and all I'm gonna say is, until Jesus come, you got issues. Everybody got issues,
We
and I
all
don't
got
care. We all got them. So my goodness, today, ooh, he had to go, y'all. Ooh, this is a lot. I was like, who did? I'm like, y'all, who did lyric? Lyric, who did lyric? Lyric is like, who did? I'm like, the same thing, lyric. Lyric, all ears up. Lyric, like, who did? I don't know who it was, but it was really interesting. And condolence to you as you're preparing for your family's memorial service. But yeah, it's a lot going on, y'all. I don't know who that gentleman was, and again, like I said, the views expressed on these shows are not necessarily the views of the host, but the man was saying a lot. Obviously, he knows the industry. He was saying a few things. It's just interesting. He's part of the, I mean, she's part of the trans community. I don't want to misgender anybody. She's part of the trans community, and it's just interesting. So, messy vlog. Let me say this: I don't know who these people are. It's really interesting, and like I said, it's up to you all to believe or not believe. Sit lyric. Thank you. But I just think it's interesting. He's been on your platform before when the Cardi thing happened. Okay, y'all, but y'all know people be popping up on him. Yeah, you asked the right questions for him to cut the conversation. All right, I'm just asking questions, y'all. My God. I'm just asking questions. All I'm going off of is what news reports have said. And y'all gonna find out about me is that it will never come from me because I'm always looking at news reports, even with this situation with what Sexy Red said about Diddy's interaction with Cassie. That came from NBC. My God, today. T Lounge said, can I get the link? You make T Lounge. Y'all, this is a lot of stuff going on. And y'all, the industry is no joke. And let me say this. I think the industry is almost, it sounds like a wealthy person's slavery. It sounds like you are entrapped. You are entrapped. And if you really want to make it and get those films or get those record deals, these are some things you got to do. That's deep. And it seems like you got this money, but if we need you to fly to represent a film, you got to do it, and it's free. And the people who produce make all the money, and the actors and the actresses are at their beck and call, and everybody is bowing down to them because if they make one wrong move, they may not be considered for a picture. Y'all get this? And it seems like it's very bow downish. It's very, very pecking order like type thing. T Lounge, did you hear all of that?
Yes. Oh man. Excuse me. I'm still recovering, so my voice is a little bit messed up. But I think I know that person, like by way of, not directly. And I was trying to get up. I wanted to get up, but they left so soon. And first off, the voice sounds familiar, and I was gonna come to the back chat and ask like a few questions to find out if it's who I think it is. But
So if you think okay, so if you think it's the person who you think it is that person credible?
well, listen, these I've heard these stories. Like I've hung out with a lot of people in the community, uh older guys, and they've told me all of these stories. Like I mean, I would just sit at their table and they would just tell me like all of these stories. I mean, stories from the ballroom, stories from how Eddie how Eddie allegedly off that trans person and then tried to make it seem like they committed, they
Harry
under
Carey.
they
Mm-hmm.
themselves, and stories about something with like Diana Ross and a dress and a and a how somebody stole Diana Ross's dress. And I would just hear all of like I've heard these stories before. Like it's like two worlds of gossip. You have the gossip that we hear and things that Wendy has said and all of that other stuff. And then there's like this like LGBT celebrity gossip. And if that's who I think it is, they would know like a is it MC, is a Deb, something with a Deb, and they are affiliated with excuse me, they are affiliated with Grandmaster Fat Flash and that whole crew and Melly Mel and all. I mean, I've heard these
Well, he was calling people. The numbers was real. The numbers was numbering.
yeah, so
The numbers was numbering.
yeah, and then like, cuz the thing about it is these celebrities, like I've heard some stories about like back in the day about that are coming out now, and I've heard it. I told my peoples about it like years ago, like back in the 90s. I've heard these stories about like Jada, the MC Light, and all this other stuff. So it's like a whole nother set of gossip that some of it would come out on the radio with Wendy, and then
Yeah.
it was like some of them that just, I guess it's just amongst that community. And I've sat amongst people and just heard these stories before, and so I'm not going to say whether or not it's credible or not. I'm just saying the
Mm.
the things is lining up, like that name, like as soon.
Well, let me say this. A lot of stuff seems like it's lining up. And again, let me say this. I'm not a Jaguar Wright fan, Orlando Brown, but the bottom line is what they're saying is coming to pass. Again, Monique, people were saying that she was problematic and she was difficult to work for. But now we see what Monique has been saying all along has been happening. Taraji is saying exactly what Monique is saying. I'm not getting paid, and y'all expect me to do all of this work, and y'all making the money, but I'm not getting paid. And y'all could have y'all could have flown me to France for the Cannes Film Festival, and you didn't. Y'all was trying to sell me out cheap. And no, if I'm the product, if I'm that good, then you should pay me to do that. So let me see
And
what. Let me go ahead.
and what's even more annoying, because I remember when that happened, I remember the commentary around it. And that's the part that's kind of irritating me now, because you can hear these same commentators and even some of the people that Monique spoke with coming to Taraji's defense.
Yes, and I
And,
think that's terrible
and
because
it's
Monique said the same thing, and no one came. They were saying she's problematic. Let me tell you something. When Steve Harvey was talking to Monique that way, I'm like, oh my God. And it really told me what Steve Harvey was about. I'm about me, my family, screw everybody else because I'm working this Hollywood thing. And then, of course, he lost some people when some stuff came out because they start to pile up on him. But see, you see this kind of stuff, and it seems like that there are no friends in Hollywood either because I mean, he was, and Monique just told it like it was. She said, "Look, I'm mad at you. I'm telling you, and you know how it is, and he knows how it is." Hold on for a minute, real quickly. Did you see that Tyler Perry was supposed to be directing All the King's Men and didn't show up last week for Christian Key's pastor? There are definitely issues between him and Tyler. I've heard that now a lot of people are trying to say that Christian Keys is mad and he came out with this because of contractual things and he's trying to get more money. I heard that. However, you know, it may be, may not. I just think he need to just go ahead and put the cards out on the table, but that's up to him. You can't tell a person when or what they should do because I'm not in the situation. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, hold on for a minute. T Lounge, let me read these comments. They aren't saying okay is lying, CK is lying, but people are saying that he was very upset with his contract for all the King men this time. Then they need to find another line of work. I would never support Steve Harvey again. Yeah, people are saying folk need to find another line of work, but again, you all, I have a problem with people saying that. No one should be harassed at work. Okay. I don't care who you are. No one should touch people. No one should do anything that folk don't want them to do. It is wrong. And
I don't
See,
know. It seems like, in my personal opinion, it seems like Christian is having buyer's remorse. And maybe being like, he just looks like I gotta say how I feel it. He looks like he's an aging actor who is not getting what he can get anymore. and now he's just trying to get a Cassie bag and maybe make it onto the Forbes list himself, because Cassie got.
But shouldn't he? And this is my thing. If he plays his cards right, shouldn't he? Because haven't people been using his talent and been doing all of this stuff, and he had to endure all of this stuff?
He's not. I'm not saying that he hasn't been used. I'm just saying. My question is, was it consensual or not? That's my question.
Well, it's interesting because he said it wasn't.
Right. So I don't know. I believe. I promise you, I believed it more when I just saw the headline and didn't hear him actually speak.
Mm-hmm.
Over to CTV's live, and I heard he played the live that Christian did, and I speak. I was in the chat like, I don't know. I believe this more before when I just saw the headlines. When I just saw the headlines, like a billionaire producer. There's something about a recording. I was like, oh snap, there's a recording, whatever. Then when I'm listening, I'm like, 1 minute you're saying that you want to take a lie detector test, next minute you're saying you have it recorded. I'm trying to figure out.
Well, he said he has the recording.
Right.
He said he has the recording. He says that he has this stuff to prove it. I just think this is my thoughts on that. There are billionaires who don't have nothing to do with this story. And I think that you need to absolve them because they don't have anything to do with it. And everybody is now side-eyeing them and they don't have anything to do with it. And so people are actually, oh my dog is in her shoes and she is just flat. Come here, Lyric. She in her shoes flapping like a duck. Come here, boo-boo. Come here. She is flapping because she ain't used to these shoes. She is flapping like a little duck over here.
I tried to get my cat a bell, and it could move for the bell.
Yeah, my dog is flapping like a duck with these shoes on. Come here, Lyric. Come here. You don't like your shoes. I know you don't, but you're gonna wear them because it's wet outside. But let me say this. I don't know, like I said, who that character was. They said that he's been on my platform sometimes, and which I don't doubt.
I believe so, but this was the first time. I believe so once before. But this is the first time I'm listening, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I'm like, I heard these stories before, like, and I caught a lot of stuff in the chat. I was like, wait a minute, I think this person, because the person said Lady LaBeija. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a person that's, in the life. And then
that's one of them house girls.
Then they said in life. I said, oh, they in the life. They know I haven't heard that since the 90s in the life. And then I'm listening. I'm like, I've heard these stories before. And then they said when calling to Professor Griff, this Smiley. I said, ooh, I know who that is or whatever. And
he said he was named DJ Smiley.
MC Smiley.
MC Smiley. Yeah.
The connection with them and somebody named Deb, a rapper named Deb, and they are affiliated with.
Oh, he said, and yes, I am who I am. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of aggravation that I've been through. So I understand. I'm definitely agree. Maybe I can calm down just a little bit, but it is what it is. Okay.
I have questions. Miss LaBeija.
Ask a question while he in there. She in now, rather.
So, do you know somebody? There's a rapper you affiliated with named Deb, or am I bugging? And a person named that name I don't want to necessarily put out. I would probably want to put it in the back chat and ask, but
Okay, so we're waiting for Lady Bubbly LaBeija.
There is a MC Smiley is affiliated with is it the Furious Five, not the Fantastic Four, the Furious Five, and they're affiliated with them. Yes, they are. MC Smiley, and then there's a Deb, and then there's a
I'm listening, y'all. I'm listening.
the Cadillac ladies or the one of them fine cars, Cadillac, Benz. Um,
He said Fantastic Five.
it's the Fantastic Four.
There was no MC Smiley in the Fantastic Five. Did he say Fantastic Four or Fantastic Five?
It's the Furious.
Well, my thing is whether it's the Fantastic One, Two, Three, Four, Five. He was saying a whole lot, and he's saying that he knows the industry and these people. Come here, dog. What you got in your eye?
It's the Furious Five and the Fantastic Four.
Okay. Uh, uh, uh. Go to the restroom. Go to the restroom now. You got your shoes on. He said Fantastic Five. Well, look, y'all, it's a lot going on. Now, again, his friend that he did call said what was done in the dark will be brought to the light. He didn't want to go into what that dark was because I sure did ask. But I just think that a lot of people know what's going on. A lot of people have been discounted and discredited because they're not powerful, they're not connected. So people think, well, these people want attention, but we're finding out what a lot of these people have been saying there is coming to pass. We've always known, even with some of the child stars, that there are a lot of predators out there, with this, and a lot of young men have been propositioned. So I don't think what Christian Keys is saying is really off. The thing that is surprising is that, we think it's always white people, and it's not. It can be black folk as well. And let me say this too. Somebody said Grandmaster Flash in the Furious Five.
Right.
Furious Five.
It's the
So
Furious Five and it's the Fantastic Four. And that's like from that time period with like Baby D and Starsky and that whole time period. And it's a whole bunch of them. And a lot of them was from, oh my God, what's the name of that project in the form? Oh my God.
there's an MC Smiley in the Cold Crush Brothers rap group.
There,
So
that's I'm telling you that there's an MC Smiley. I don't know. I thought MC Smiley. Child, listen, okay.
but look, I just think a lot of things are coming out, you all, and
And then you
and
look at
what let me say this too, because
they that far from the community. Just look at the get up. Used to be a fag hag, Excuse my language, but
mhm. let me
now.
let me say this. There, Sexy Red said something that was really critical too. She said that it's not about bringing down the black man. She said it's about accountability. And I agree with her. I think Harvey Weinstein should get exactly what he gets.
Uh-huh.
Epstein as well. I think that, unfortunately, it's about power. It's about control. And I think a lot of this stuff is about power and control. And the sad part about it is, like I said, the Tony wanted nothing to do with it. Red Ball, he said Fantastic Five, he's missing stories. Okay. What the sad part about it is that Sexy Red was like, hey, or Red, whatever her name is, she was like, it don't have nothing to do with that. It has to do with accountability and these people doing folk wrong. And it's about this power trip. And the sad part about it is the oppressed are worse oppressors. And when you look at all of this, like LaFace Records, and you look at all of these Bad Boy, and all of these record companies come out of Arista, which is Clive Davis. Clive Davis. All
And,
roads lead to Clive Davis. All roads lead to Clive Davis.
right, and a lot of street ties too. And the thing about it is, there's got to be a day of reckoning, and a lot of people that are beloved are going to get caught up in that day. It's just, you can't go around, you can't avoid universal law, you can't avoid God's law, period. So you can sit and try to, hang in the shadows and do all your dirt and everything. But we all know that everything that's done in the dark comes to the light.
Yeah.
And and a lot of people were doing some raggedy stuff back there. And so like I said, I don't want to discredit him completely. I just have question. I'm questioning whether it was consensual and you feel a way about it, or
Mm-hmm.
if this actually happened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to go to the police and drop the recording, you know, you're just making noise at this point.
And you know what? I don't know if it is a bargaining chip. I don't know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm with you. You know, you got to be careful because people are victims, and like I said, there are a lot of people who have died and gone to their grave with stuff that affected them adversely and never said a word. Never said a word. So I know that these things happen. I know that these things happen. But my biggest thing is, and I think my biggest concern is those people who are not involved and may be blamed.
Mm-hmm.
Those billionaires who happen to be black, who have nothing to do with this, but people now are side eyeing them because they happen to be billionaires because the person really didn't name a name. And then this Tyler Perry thing, if it's Tyler Perry, just say it's Tyler Perry. If it's Tyler Perry,
Right.
I mean, and what really got me to thinking, because I wanted to eliminate him to say no, that's too obvious. But when I started looking at his documentary and how he was doing those sound studios and people were looking up to him and he's getting jobs in Atlanta and all of this stuff, I'm like, you know, Um, and
Man,
again, Oprah Winfrey was his gatekeeper. I mean, but she pushed him. Y'all, it's a lot to this, um, and I'm looking at Oprah Winfrey now. See, I wouldn't have believed this back in the day. I would have been like, y'all hating on Oprah. Stop hating on Oprah. But after seeing this thing with Whoopi,
okay,
and
I came into your live and I was like doing work. I was working and trying to listen. So I missed some stuff. So I went back and I watched the view and I saw that he wasn't there. So I was like, okay, maybe he's just saying that he wasn't there. But what was you saying about Oprah? Like that
well,
Oprah and Whoopi are into it?
Well, it seems like Oprah and Whoopi have some type of disagreement going on, and it's brewing. First of all, Whoopi has not even been invited to any of the Color Purple stuff, which is
Oh,
unusual because Whoopi was Sealy, and so it has been said that Fantasia wanted to reach out to Whoopi, and Oprah said, "Don't bother." She don't want to be bothered. And that bothered Whoopi because Whoopi did not say that. That did not come from Whoopi's mouth. That came from Oprah's mouth, according to what's been written out there.
oh,
Also,
oh.
they said that she didn't show up to do the view. She did some take, but they said she was there. Some sources said that she was there, and her and Whoopi kind of had some words. Now let me say this. Let me
Mm-hmm,
say this.
mm-hmm,
Whoopi and Oprah got together for a Tyler Perry Color Girls situation.
right.
And Whoopi thought that Oprah had something against her, and Oprah thought Whoopi had something against her. It was really, really some crappy stuff.
It's a shame.
And Whoopi was like, no, I didn't. And Whoopi couldn't understand it. And so again, that's how childish it seemed. But now this situation has opened up some old wounds again. And and what Whoopi said was truly Whoopi. Whoopi said, if I got a problem with you, you will know I have a problem with you.
And
I
that
will
and
tell
that
you.
I could I she doesn't seem petty. She
She
seems
doesn't seem petty. She seems like if she has an issue, she will let you know right away. And
mm-hmm,
so I kind of went with Whoopi on that, right? But this Oprah thing, and then Oprah said she was the godmother of the color purple. No, the hell you're not. If
She said
anybody,
what?
yes, if anybody,
Oh,
it's
child.
gonna be Whoopi. I just think Oprah takes over stuff. She's a takeover
Gotta
spirit.
take over.
Even what Monique was saying about Oprah and
Fighting her
uh,
mother.
yeah, they were saying that Oprah and um Tyler Perry. When Lee Daniels did Precious, and then Precious started getting recognition, all of a sudden Oprah and Tyler Perry jumps on board. But Monique said her agreement was with Lee Daniels, and they wanted her to come and talk about this. And again, Monique said, "I'm not coming to France on my dime to come over there." She said, "I'm gonna spend time with my family." They didn't want to talk money. And then Monique said the next thing she know, she's been demonized as difficult to work with. And then, of course, you had the situation with Monique's brother. And Monique didn't have a problem with Oprah doing that interview with her brother. Maybe he changed. But Monique was very upset by Oprah putting her mama and her daddy when she asked her not to. And
Right.
Oprah even said that, hey, we don't have to do the show. But Oprah did the show. And it just goes to show you that, and I believe Monique on that. You don't lie about stuff like
You
that. You just
wouldn't lie.
don't.
And I can't remember if Monique said that she told them no, or she said,
Well, she
or she said
she she said she didn't mind the brother going on because maybe he had changed.
that's right. She didn't mind the
But
brother.
then, but Oprah called her, according to Monique, and said, "Sis, we're just not gonna do it."
No,
And
that's
she
what I was
thought
thinking. That's what
she
I was
thought Oprah was a stand-up person for saying we ain't gonna do it. She said, "You know what? This sister is all right." But then Monique said she started seeing commercials. Yeah.
thinking.
And then she found out that Oprah had did it. See, so it's a lot of stuff, you all, and Oprah has not apologized. Oprah don't think she did anything wrong.
And it's also very dismissive. Like she might think she did something wrong, or she might be a narcissist. I don't know, but
And then her excuse is,
telling
"I
us
don't have time for this drama in my life." You know,
right.
let me say this too. Let me tell you this, Taraji, please watch out because
Let me
baby,
tell you something. Taraji looks miserable, and I said to myself, "Dang, people get to working with her, and their whole being changes. One, what they can't fight against this type of a machine, and you can look on Taraji's face, and there's a part of it that looks like, and it's coming from a sister. You know what I mean? That's the part that think it looks like it's over.
Taraji will be next. I'm serious. I'm concerned about Taraji because it seems like anytime Oprah has something to do with an actress and they don't go by Oprah's rules, it's like, okay, you're next. I'm like, wow. And I just and again, let me tell you something. Gail looked uncomfortable too, because when Taraji was spilling that tea on Gail's show, which is Oprah's friend, it got deep. It got real deep. And then Gail was trying to dismiss it as, "Oh, you don't mean that." And Taraji was crying. And so, and then all of a sudden, Oprah comes out that she can talk to her about anything. Well, obviously not about pay. So I just think it's really interesting what's going on here. And like I said, we ain't on the inside, we on the outside looking in. But I can tell you what, I can tell you that Taraji's body language was very off, very much off when they were doing that picture. They was doing that picture shoot, and Oprah went to the other side. She went to the other side to stand next to that person over there on the other side. It just didn't look right. And so I just hope that Taraji is going to be okay because she's a good actress, but it don't take long. And Taraji talking about something she don't even know if she want to be in Hollywood anymore. And knowing these people, they will oblige you and they will
And
help you out the door.
it may be that she's speaking, from a place of like, I already am getting some of the skinny on the fact that I'm getting ready to get blackballed, you
Well,
know,
I think a lot of that may be true.
and that's
Yeah,
what she
let me say this. I think a lot of this stuff is so interconnected. I mean, interconnected, even with the Diddy stuff and all of this stuff, it just seems like it's so connected, and it just seems like we have these gatekeepers, and they're not doing right by our folk. And sometimes our folk doing, who needs white folk to tear us up while we got black gatekeepers willing to do it for free? I mean, it's just sad to me. To me.
It's a lot of stuff. And I have friends who are in the industry in like not the out front roles, you know. Um and I've heard little things, little whisperings or whatever. And then like years later you hear the stuff come out. I'll never forget. I was with my friend and they had this footage of Will and Jada. This was before August. It might have been during. I can't, but I just remember saying, "Ooh, what's going on with them?" And the face they made and moved past the conversation. I was like, I want to know. And then years later, the whole August Alsina and but I just remember, I will never forget how they just kind of like rolled their eyes, like, girl, you know what I mean? Like, just like the rolling, I'll never forget that eye roll. And then after the whole thing came out with on Tasha K's channel, they said, I'm leaving our pronouns on purpose. They said, well, it sounds better coming from somebody who's like a best friend of theirs and not somebody like me. Plus, I want to land, more gigs or whatever. They don't want to be the one to have stuff come out and leaked out, and then they can't get a job, anymore. But they was like, yeah, a lot of that stuff they've heard or seen as well. I was like, oh snap, because I was sitting there thinking that the guy was exaggerating a bit on
Are you talking about Brother Bilal?
Yep.
Brother Bilal told Will and Jada and Dwayne, sue him, get the paperwork. Because if you don't, I'm going to Tasha K and I'm going to spill the rest of the tea. That's how credible he said I am. And I don't have to lie about this. That's what he said. I'm telling you, these people are tired of these folks. When people think they can hide behind these what do they call when people can't say what people are doing? Yeah, these indie DLs or whatever they are, keeping people silent and NDAs. You can't say this. You can't. Yeah. Let me tell you something though. Flight attendants don't have to sign NDAs.
Nope.
The only way you can do that, and you're taking a private charter, and if you're taking a chartered plane, then those charter flight attendants may have to sign an NDA, but baby, they don't have to sign no NDA on Delta, Continental, well, United and American, Southwest and Spirit and Frontier. They don't have to sign NDAs. This is why we knew Ricky Martin was gay already. We already knew Ricky Martin was gay. He used to fly with his partner on Delta and American and United.
Oh, so you've seen this with your own eyes?
Flight attendants had already said it, and again, they already knew it, and they knew that they had the flight number and the time. But let me say this: we see a lot. When I was flying, let me tell you, we had Shaka Khan on our flight, and let me tell you something. Shaka Khan was a nice lady. She is a nice lady. She was very nice. She was very nice. We knew who she was. She had all this hand titties. It was hand titties. And she was trying to be inconspicuous with them shades, but we knew that Shaka Khan had from any place. She sat in the last row, and a lot of celebrities will sit last row seat by the bulkhead. That's their favorite spot. They would sit last row seat bulkhead, where people come in where they can't see them, so they will sit in the last row bulkhead, and that's where she sat in the last row in the bulkhead seat in first class. And she was so nice. I still have that signed CD that she did. She did that compilation with Mary J. Blige, so I still have that CD. But one thing I did notice that she was sleeping on her orange. Let me tell you something. She had the orange juice in her hand, and she
Uh-huh.
was falling asleep on the breakfast. Right? She had the breakfast in front of her. She was falling asleep, but honey, that orange juice did not leave her hand. And I'm like, ooh, something's a little off. But you don't say anything because it's like, well, maybe she just tired.
Right. But
Maybe she just tired.
okay, so two things. One, I've had dinner with Gladys Knight and she ate potato salad off of my plate. I will never forget that day. But I ended up spilling water all over the table. I was so nervous. And her feet are, she looked like a ballerina. Okay, I'll just leave it there. But when I used to work at Saks, I was told by the ones who worked like there for years before me, Luther's a nightmare. They say Luther Vandross was a nightmare. And the way in Saks, they have a way for celebrities, like major celebrities, to come in through the back, go to the second floor. I believe it was the second floor, second or third floor, but I believe it was the second. And they have like a place where they can just go and be, waited on. They don't have to be seen. But Angelina Jolie and Brad would come in and be like just walking around on the fourth floor for everybody to see, because some of the celebrities, they want to be seen. Like they don't have, like if they like, they can do like Shaka did, you know,
Mhm.
underneath the the in the last seat in the first class, where nobody could see them or whatever, just hold on to your vodka, I mean orange juice, right? But they want to walk around and be seen by everybody on the fourth floor, where that's like the
Well,
regular.
I had a lot of celebrities. So I had Wendy Williams on my flight. She
Uh-huh.
was going from LA back to New York, and I was working that flight. It was a Delta flight. Her and Kevin sat in that place where Shaka Khan sat. Um, they sat in that seat.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin sat near the window. Wendy sat on the aisle,
Uh-huh.
and the son sat. They didn't have anybody sitting next to him, so they bought two seats so he could sit by himself. Wendy Williams was pleasant. When I tell you she was a joy to
Mm-hmm.
work for, at least as a flight attendant,
Mm-hmm.
she was gracious. I enjoyed her. And the son was like, thank you and please. And so again, to hear all of this stuff with Kevin and stuff, it was like, wow, he didn't say anything, but she was very nice. And I'm not gonna lie, she was nice. I know people are saying things about her now, but she was very nice. Her son was very well mannered, didn't have a problem with her at all. Victoria Gotti was on my flight. What trash. I would never want her on my flight again. Well, I never wanted to work with Victoria Gotti again. Jimmy
Mm-hmm.
Carter was on my flight. He shook everybody's hand on that plane. Now,
Wow.
this is the thing. This is why I'm very surprised with what Miss LaBeija is saying, because Dick Gregory and Fauntleroy, they were on my flight. And
Uh-huh.
Dick Gregory sat in coach. Both of them sat in coach. And they were pleasant. They were really nice guys. I
Mm-hmm.
had Doug Williams from the Williams brother on my flight. He slept the whole flight. I had Lisa Leslie on
Mm-hmm.
my flight. She was going from New York to wherever she was going. She ate all my Biscoff cookies. I just gave her the whole pack. I'm like, here, Miss Leslie. I gave her the whole pack. She loves some Biscoff cookies. Lord, she loves Biscoff cookies. And she was really nice. Now I'm gonna tell you what, the worst celebrity that I've ever had, and I wouldn't even say she's celebrity, but the worst celebrity or somebody who was known that I had on my flight, which was just unbelievable and unbearable, was what's the King girl name who preaching?
Bernice.
Bernice King. She was awful.
Wow.
She was awful. When I first of all, I knew it was gonna be bad. This is when I knew the trip was gonna be bad. This is when I knew it wasn't gonna be a good trip. So you know how everybody greets the passengers at the door. So the
Right.
pilot was there. And so, Bernice had that wrap, she had that French roll and everything. And then she had a tracksuit on. She had a sweatsuit on, right?
Sorry.
So the pilot said, oh my God. He said, oh my God. He said, I know you. He said, I know Queen Latifah anywhere. Baby, when he told
Oh.
when he called Bernice King Queen Latifah, but I was like, oh hell. I'm like, oh no, you just didn't call her Queen Latifah. I knew we were gonna have a bad trip. Cause she was giving Queen Latifah vibes. She was giving some set it off vibes. I'm telling you. He
I would have,
called her Baby, when he called her Queen Latifah, I knew that we were gonna have a hell of a trip. So she was like, I'm not Queen Latifah. She said, I am Bernice King. Oh, I'm like, oh my God. I knew it was gonna be a mess, right?
mm-hmm.
Then she sat in the seat to the window. Her publicist sat in the seat on the aisle. You did not speak to Bernice King. You spoke to the publicist. So you would ask the publicist what.
Wow.
I mean, she was that bad. She was that bad. And then she was, and I know what trip it was because it was Atlanta to Norfolk, Virginia, because she was going to preach at Calvary Revival, Courtney McBath's church. And then we got off the plane. The publicist waved very nice. And then Bernice just waved like, okay, hey, bye. I mean, it was nasty. But then I had Ilyasa, which is Malcolm X's daughter, and all of his children are pleasant. It's like you would think that
Um, my sister was friends with uh, I don't know their names, but the one whose son ended up doing that to and she went trick or treat. They lived in I want to say Minnesota, but I could be wrong. And or maybe I'm right. Uh Minnesota, my sister was living in Minnesota at the time. She went trick or treating with that boy. Her and the mother, they probably connected over being from Harlem or something. I don't know how, but I'm gonna
yeah.
ask next time
Well, Malcolm's kids were a pleasant joy to work with.
like that was they were lovely. And
Yeah.
I've helped now mind you, Jennifer Lewis, she came, I had cashed out my register. I was ready to go, and I was having like a really bad time in life. I wanted to go home, and she came in wanting to get an evening gown. And I was like, I'm not doing evening gowns because evening gowns is too many freaking returns. I'll tell you who came and returned all her evening gowns, and that was Miss Natalie Cole, who is stunning in person, not a drop of makeup. I was staring in her face like, how do you not have a line, a crease, just anything? Gorgeous. But she returned all them damn dresses, okay? They keep them tags in and they're not doing all of that. They got too much stuff to do. So I'll stay away from evening gowns. Put me in coats and children's, and I'm a happy camper.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Another person who I had was funny. He was drama. Now he was very nice, but he was very much drama. And that was Bobby Jones, honey. Oh, Miss Bobby Jones, baby, she was coming.
Really?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Bobby Jones, Bobby Jones was coming from Atlanta to Nashville. I was working that flight, and Bobby Jones and his musician was having it out. First of all, he came in, and him and his musician already argued, and they were arguing because the musician wanted to be in first class. Bobby Jones was in first class, but the musician was in coach. And the musician was trying to hear that. Okay. But Bobby Jones was trying to hear that. I said, so I went to him and I said, Dr. Jones, may I please take your coat? He said, finally, somebody who got some class and know how to do customer service. Baby, I said, come on. Child, I don't know where Bobby Jones got this fur coat, but baby, it seemed like they just skinned it off the bear or something. Baby, I don't know if he had a bear coat. I don't know if they just skinned it off the bear. But when I tell you it took 7 hangers to hang that damn coat up because one hanger I tried and it broke. I'm like, well, damn.
That's a
Honey,
heavy.
that coat was heavy. It was not a faux. It was real fur. And I don't know. I know it wasn't no. I know it wasn't no mink. That thing had to be bear, honey. That had to be on nasty piece of bear fur because that thing was heavy. And so Bobby Jones, he had a cranberry juice, and he had some of the snack mix, the Delta snack mix, and he went on the bed. But let me say this now. Let me say this. I had a lot of people on. I had a lot of people on. I
Mhm.
kind of knew Bow Wow was a little soft because Bow Wow flew from Atlanta to New York, and Bow Wow was really interesting. hmm He was real interesting. That's all I can say. He was
Yeah, when you say
interesting.
interesting.
And then I had Ralph Tresvant from New Edition. Child,
He
I
was
didn't
in
even know who
he
he was. I'm like, who this? He said Ralph. I'm like, oh my God. That ain't the Ralph that I remember when I was in the eighth grade. Ralph looked like life had beat him with a bag of nickels. I'm telling
uh-huh.
you, it was not cute. Then I
It
had
looked like life got him and held on and won't.
and didn't let him go.
Okay. But uh I Nick Asper
Hold
came.
on, hold on, hold on now. Then I had Puff Daddy. He was
Oh.
Puff Daddy before he was Puff Daddy at the time.
Mhm.
And Puffy was quiet. He flew from Atlanta, I mean from New York to Atlanta,
Mhm.
first class on Delta. Now Puffy actually sat in with this plane, everybody boarded in the front. So Puffy sat at the bulkhead. Oh, wait, they always sit away from where people can see them. So, like when you're coming in the plane in the front, so Wendy was on the 757. So that's a split plane. First class is in the front, and then coach is in the back. But
Mhm.
some planes, like the 737 and some of those planes, you enter into the front of the door.
Mhm.
So when it's like that, most of those celebrities will sit at the bulkhead away from the door. Because if you sit at the bulkhead, um, near the airport, people turn in and see you. So
Right.
Puffy actually sat in that window seat by the bulkhead. Now I don't know. My sister actually has the manifest because we have a manifest with everybody's real name on it.
Mhm.
And Puff actually he was cool. He actually signed the manifest for me. I said, my sister really likes you, and could you sign the manifest? And Puffy actually signed the manifest. He
Mhm.
was quiet. But yeah, I've had a lot of celebrities. So I had Alicia Keys,
Mhm.
Roland Martin, and let me tell you what this was about.
They was on together?
They were all together. They were flying on the Delta shuttle because it was Obama's press correspondence dinner. And so all of them were leaving out of New York to go to Washington, D.C. And that's the Delta shuttle.
Mhm.
And when I tell you Roland Martin was trying to get in contact with Alicia Keys, and Alicia Keys was irritated, and she said, "No, I don't want to speak to him." Baby, I was like, okay, honey. Oh, okay. Alicia Keys was not hearing it for the girls. She was not. And it was a star-studded plane. So Roland was on there, and you just had all of these stars and all of these politicians on the plane. So yeah, Charles Rangel was on my plane. He was really nice. Charles Rangel was really nice. So there, Joyce Brothers was on my plane when she was living. She was really nice. So you got people that come on there. I mean, you met a lot. You meet a lot of people. So flight attendants meet a lot of people, and I can check Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon was phenomenal. His son was nice. Kevin Bacon was so nice. I never get again. You remember people who are nice. You remember the people who nasty. I had Diane Carroll, God rest her soul, and she just like she is on Dynasty. She's a diva. She wasn't mean. She wasn't nasty. She was just Diane Carroll. It was just like just put a Drake there and leave her alone. She was Diane Carroll. She didn't have a lot of chit chat. You know, she was like, I specifically asked for a suite, not a junior suite. I did not. She said, I don't sleep in my clothes or with my clothes. Okay, she was giving me that. Diane Carroll gives you very much, I'm an elegant woman.
Oh goodness. So Nick Ashford came into the store smelling like he sold weed, okay? Like all you could smell was weed on him. I said, this must be how he write his song.
So I got a question for you. Now you're talking about Valerie Ashford's husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Bobby Simpson.
So he smelled like weed.
Mm-hmm.
So what vibes you get from him?
Child. Mm-mm. Nope. he was really um animated, flamboyant, if you will.
Very animated. Very animated. That's a good word. Animated.
And I was
Hmm.
about the story. I told him the story about how for my prom, I thought I was going to a celebrity hairstylist because you know how black people they be just talking smack. Yeah, I used to, and I don't know why somebody saying that they did Nick Ashford's hair would be a selling point for me, but it was my hair. My curls was so tight. Oh God, they were so tight. I had finger waves in the and all these like tight so-called spiral. I wanted spiral curls. That was not spiral curls. She gave me basically Shirley Temple curls. It was horrible. This old lady. Oh God, she did it. She had the old school irons too, child. It was like
Hmm.
oh, that
But
was
you said he was animated.
he was animated and he had on a fur, but the fur looked kind of like it been through some things. Like it wasn't
Mm.
like he didn't put it in cold storage during the winter. I
Oh,
mean during
it looked like he had the mange. Ah, it looked like he had the mange. Now this
yeah,
is the thing. I heard he's about 6'4", 6'5".
he's tall. He's tall. I
Mm.
was looking up and I all I could do was smell the weed. I was like, he was just like in the car, must have been in the car just smoking, like geez. And a lot of people came through there. The lady, what's the lady's name from that bought BET?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Jonathan Johnson, something like that.
I can't think of her name now, but they did a cartoon spoof on her
Yeah, but
on
she
the
was
Boondocks.
and yeah, she was getting bras. She was getting bras on the 10th floor. And oh, what's her name came through there? Oh God, from Boomerang and Harlem Nights.
So not Grace Jones, but
Layla Rashawn.
okay, okay. I thought you was about to say
And
the lady who played Catwoman.
she came in there. Nah, she came in there with a purple rag on her head. You know those like the one that Tupac would wear with the white
Hmm.
back. She had one of those on her head, and a whole when I say a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of kids. And people just like walked past her. I guess that's part of why she came in there looking like that. You know, the other salespeople was walking past her, and I was trying to get over to her, but I had a lady at my register, so I couldn't get over to her. And so then I asked the one lady, I said, "Yo, why you ain't take her?" And so she was like, who was that?" And I was like, "That." I said, she's an actress. She probably had a couple of dollars or whatever. You could have gotten a nice commission." And so she was like, "I ain't know what." I'm just walked off. I was like, "Oh well."
Interesting because again, that's where people miss it because you see this and I ain't gonna deal with this. See, yeah. You it's a lot of racism in retail.
Black lady with all them kids and some and a head rag on her head. Oh no.
Yep. Yeah, but how was Jennifer Lewis? Because I heard she is
Oh,
so
she is the
extra, but she's fun, but
same.
she's
She is
extra.
the same. She is the same. Oh, I'm looking for a dress on the. I'm going to the BET. I was just like, girl, no, I don't got time. I'm clocked out. Okay. She looked at me like, oh, you're not gonna help me. I knew who she was. I said hi, and I enjoy your movies and all of that. But no, you're gonna leave.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say I got my coat on. I got my coat and purse on. I done did well that week. You can go ahead with
So
all that.
now, so you were actually at Saks, right?
Yeah.
So let me say this, y'all. Saks is expensive for no reason.
Let me tell you, I remember, and we were all. I said, y'all, because we used to have a good time when it was down. I'm like, y'all, look at this damn sweater. It was a sweatshirt. It was a sweatshirt in there. It made it up onto my floor. That probably came from the second floor where Dolce and all of them be at. But it was $3,000 for this sweatshirt.
Wow. I went into so we have a Saks in our mall,
Mhm.
and people are like, I don't understand how they make it, but I'm like, so this is how Saks makes it. Only a few people need to sell a few items and they made their goal. Whereas
Mm,
Walmart, the price is so certain. So Walmart, they got to sell more of cheap stuff. Whereas with Saks, they only have to sell a few things, and they're gonna be okay.
mhm. I would
So
I would if you the way that it goes is if you sell 20,000 in a week, that's $1,500 in your check. And that's not hard if you hustle. You know what I mean? But there's also months where it's just down. You know what I mean? So you're just not gonna make that kind of
yeah,
money.
because it's retail. It is retail. But
But yeah.
the stores that I really, like I said, Saks was a expensive store for no reason. I would do it Nordstrom's. Nordstrom's will give you a sale or two. Needless markup, aka Neiman Marcus,
Mhm,
expensive for no reason.
mhm,
And so yeah, so Nordstrom's is probably one of my favorite expensive stores.
mhm,
And but Saks, we got one of those in so we have two big malls. So the popular one is North Star. And so that's the one that has the Saks in it. And then we have La Cantera, which is a shopping center, and they
mhm,
have needless markup and Nordstrom's there. And then they have, of course, the regular Macy's, Dillard's, and all of the other stores that go along with it. But
mhm.
y'all, let me say this: if you really want to do some shopping, I'm telling you, New York is the place. I never forget shopping at Macy's.
Oh, I gotta
The,
go
the,
there today. Don't I'm getting ready to have anxiety. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I shopped at the Macy's, which on Herald Square, which is phenomenal. It's big. It's bigger than most people's malls. They had a Lord and Taylor's. Now, Lord and Taylor's used to be the damn
Yeah,
store.
Lord Taylor's wasn't far from the Saks. Well, it's the Saks,
I
but
thought Lord and Taylor was such a fancy store because they had their sign and script. I'm like, okay, Lord and
uh,
Taylor, and then you had Bloomingdale's, which Macy's took over and messed up. Yeah, they had a lot of good stores back in the day in New York. So I was in New York when those stores were still in existence, and then in Miami, I don't know if New York had the Dump, but Miami had the Dump, and the Dump was a store where they would get they would get like fashion, shoes, furniture, and they would just mark the prices down if nobody bought them. So I just remember that in Miami. And so you could get furniture. It was like you could get a pair of shoes, and the shoes would be $1,000. Then you go back, it'll be 500, and then you go back, they'll let it go for about like $90. So
mhm.
that was the Dump. So yeah, they had a lot of places.
When I was working there, they created a elevator specifically to go straight to shoes. It was the
Mm,
it would go straight to shoes, and the shoe department, like, oh God, they was probably making money. But you know who used to make money? I remember my friend who worked there with me. She worked in the holiday decor department, right? And so one day she said, "Oh, run my downline with me or whatever, so we could go to lunch." And so I went, and I just in that line in 3, 4, like let's say 7 minutes tops, I made 15. Well, not I sold 1,500 just that quick, just ornaments. I couldn't believe it. I said, "Oh, you down here caking?" She was like, "What you think?" Whatever, whatever. She was an older lady or whatever. She's like, "What you think?" I was like, "Oh, okay. No wonder you want to be." Um, uh, she would always want to be there or in Boston.
What do you think about the personal shoppers? I had a friend and she was very successful. She actually retired from Nordstrom's.
Uh-huh.
She worked at Circle City Mall in Indianapolis. She worked at the Nordstrom and she was a personal shopper. First of all, her glasses was always fire. I mean, I'm
Mhm,
like, her glasses was. Let me tell you how I met this lady. And
mhm,
she was on Tom Joyner cruise. She used to go to Tom Joyner cruise. But I met this lady. She worked at Nordstrom. She was a personal shopper. She would get all of the basketball players, their wives, and she would personally put items together for them. And they
mhm.
would either want them or not. And that's how she made her money. But
Yeah.
I was in the mall and I was looking for some places to get ribs. And so she took me to Purnell's. I said, baby, I will. She said, I said, if you get me to a good rib spot, I said, I will pay for your ribs. Now, this lady didn't know me from a can of paint. But when
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, she followed me to Purnell's and we sat at Purnell's and ate rib tips. Baby, every time I go to Indiana, I find her and we eat rib tips at Purnell. I mean, we had a damn good time. But anyway.
I was making a cute coin back then. I can't even lie. The thing about it is, number one, there's a reason why some of them, when you walk in there and you're like, why you act like you got money, because they do. Because you could get paid from Saks, right? You
Mhm,
get base pay plus commission. And then if you work for the brand,
mhm.
it's for the a co oh gosh, it's a co something. And that means you work for, so like my friend, I'm not gonna say his name. My friend, he worked for Dolce Gabbana and Saks. So he was getting a check from Dolce Gabbana and Saks plus his commission.
Wow. Wow.
So a
But let me
lot of
say this, you gotta make that change in New York though. New York ain't cheap.
figures, they're in there. They a lot of those sales people, those sales clerks and stuff, they're making
Mhm.
six figures. You
Let me
know,
say this though. I don't know how it is now,
not now.
but T Lounge, when I was living in New York,
Hmm.
if you weren't making 90K, you weren't doing well because that 90K would get you comfortable, not a trip maybe every once in a while. And when I was in New York, you either had a roommate in a car or you live by yourself without a car because it's just expensive. And I know somebody right now, they lived in Park Slope
Hmm.
section of Brooklyn, and
Hmm.
they had when I tell you, the bathroom was probably bigger than the living room. They had a efficiency apartment,
Hmm.
and they were paying $2,000. I'm like, are you serious?
That's low. Like the reason why I'm not paying a crazy amount for rent is because I've been here for 16 years.
Okay.
Number, you know what I mean? So, and it's rent control. So,
Well,
um,
rent control is very good. And they're trying to get rid of that. But baby, let me say this. If they get rid of rent control in New York, half the population be gone right there because nobody can't afford the rent too damn high.
is way high, and I'm trying not to, like, well, I'm not gonna say what happened, but it was a situation where I missed an email for one of them lotteries, and I'm devastated. Like, you know, but I make enough to take care of my bills. If I want to go on a trip or two during the year, I can go somewhere. You know what I mean? Maybe one, maybe to Jamaica one, and maybe Tampa another. You know what I mean? Like that type of time. And that's about it. I it's not like I'm able to really like lamp and lavish or whatever. I find my ways to make myself feel luxurious. You know what I'm saying? Task rabbit. Every once in a while, I might have somebody come up and take care of something for me. And uh go to whatever spas I like to go to every on occasion, you know what I mean? You get
Mm,
your grooming stuff, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And but for and put a little bit to the side, maybe 100 in the Roth IRA, and then another 100 in the doggone savings, and you just make do, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
it's not like
Somebody
I'm
said that's cheap. I live in South Bronx and I pay 1,010. Let me tell you something, baby. Let me say when I was
like
living in New York,
that 2000 is you still in the hood. That's what people don't understand. 2000, you are in the
so
hood.
let me
Hood.
say this. People used to live in the Grand off on the Grand Concourse in the Bronx. You could get an apartment for $785 in the on the Grand Concourse in the Bronx. You
Right.
can't even touch the Grand Concourse anymore. You
Nope.
can't even touch it. Y'all, let me say this. New York was fun, but it is not. First of all, New York is not a place for old people. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're an elderly person, New York ain't a place for you. And it gets to the point where it's like, what's the use? Because to own something, you would either have to have you either have to get it inherited
Yes.
or get a whole lot of money, or you
Yes.
got to go out. And let me say this. The hood was wine dance out there on Long Island. But baby, wine dance is expensive now. Okay, and you gotta spend all
Yeah.
that money for a halfway decent house, and people be selling drugs on the corner and wine dance. I'm like, well, damn.
One day
So,
it's changing, right? So I'm like, I'm in the elevator and I'm looking at the guys getting ready to fix up one of the empty apartments. Oh, they're coming in here with these terracotta tile and everything like that. I'll call my property manager, like, oh, what's going on up in here or whatever, like I could use an update, but then he's gonna probably hike my rent up.
yeah,
But
Philadelphia is the cheapest place to live in the Northeast. Boston is expensive. New York is expensive. DC is expensive. Philly is the last holdout. Philly is the last holdout. I have a friend who lives in Center City and they got a sweet deal. So Philly is still a place where you can buy a home as well as get a reasonable apartment. So Philly is the last holdout. And let me say, if I had to move to the Northeast, no lie, it would be Philly. You can catch the train. You can catch the train and get to New York on the Acela train. There's always ways to get to New York to Philly. I know a lot of people who work in New York and live in Philly.
I
Now,
thought about it, and I've thought about that because the thing about it is when you're a native New Yorker, right? And I mean, I'm third generation Harlem. My mom is getting older. My family members is getting older. You know what I mean? So to consider, like, sometimes you want to move, and it's like, my family members are getting older, and I just had to have a sit down. I sat down with my cousin. I'm like, look, they're not gonna be here much longer. You know what I mean? We gotta start making sure that certain things are straight or whatever. And we just had like we had to have like a come to Jesus meeting, like what we're gonna do or how we're gonna do things or whatever. And
uh-huh.
and a lot of thank God my family, they have this, insurance and like they already bought their plots and stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff is already taken care of. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But when the matriarchs are gone and these patriarchs are gone and everything, you gotta just make sure that the little ones coming behind are okay or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
had to
it
have.
seems like it's hard to leave though, and but people who leave love it when they get. So, I had a friend who the only reason why he's in Harlem is because his mom is in Westchester, and he doesn't want to leave because she's in her late. She's 99. She's but he came to Texas and he was like, "Oh, look at the supermarkets, it's so clean, everything is so clean, everything is so spacious, it's not crowded." Then
Mhm.
he was like having a sensory overload of trees and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And then the food was fresh. And so it was a little different. And again, I lived in New York, but it's really funny. I went to Chicago. And,
Mhm.
and I must admit, I like Chicago over New York because it's clean and they don't have rat problems in
So
Chicago. But and they put their garbage in the back and they have garbage cans. But Chicago to me was more Southern friendly. It was more, I'm from Chicago, but my people from here. And there are a lot of New Yorkers from the South. They just don't admit it. But let me go back to this Philadelphia thing.
mhm.
I would move to Philadelphia because Philadelphia is inexpensive. Every neighborhood in Philadelphia is not bad. But again, you got to live. You can live in the south suburbs of Philadelphia and get a good deal. Every place in Philadelphia is not bad, you all. Every place in Philadelphia is not bad. But yeah, it's just interesting with that. And it's not all in Philadelphia, but yeah, New York is expensive. The taxes were high. Let me tell you about Florida. Now, this is why I don't recommend people to go to Florida. I don't know why people run into Florida. I know why New Yorkers and Californians are running to Florida because they can sell a house in Queens, which is not the best looking house, and they can
Mhm.
get at least $800,000 for it.
Yeah.
Come to Florida and buy a $400,000 home with footages and acreages, and they good, and they bank the rest of that money. So I understand why retired people or people who sell their homes in New York or California because you're going to get more bang for your buck. But you better be retired because at the end of the day, the taxes in Florida are high, the
Mhm.
wages are very low, and the housing prices are very high. This is why native Floridians are leaving, because people from New York and California are coming to Florida, buying them houses and snapping them up. And then, yeah, because I
And
think Florida is high right now. I was looking at houses in
like
Tampa,
the
and I'm
way
like, these houses are expensive for a Floridian. They're asking 600, 500, but hell, in New York, if the prices done gone up, that was 800 back in the day. So these people probably getting a cool million. They come to Florida and snap a house up real quick. Go ahead, T Lounge.
no, it's just the wages. Sometimes when I go to look like uh at how much I would get paid like in a similar field that I'm in now, there somewhere else, and it's just like what? This is peanut. Like that's one of the things. So it's I'm trying to figure out if I were to go because my mom, she might come with me. You know what I mean? Like she, she's also kind of like stuck in her ways. Older people so
Mm.
like sometimes she'll talk like yeah, she'll move, and then sometimes she's like I'm good. So I look at the wages and I'm just like the rest of the country.
I would say go to Dallas. Dallas is a
That's
high wage
yeah,
place more than Houston.
that's
Texas, people sleep on Texas, but I would tell people, because Dallas has a lot of headquarters, I would
mhm,
say Dallas is a good place to go. I think Dallas is a good place. Um, North Carolina, Charlotte, and Raleigh, because they are tech, well, Charlotte banking and Raleigh Durham tech.
mhm.
Um, any place else, I don't know. I'm really, Atlanta's oversaturated, and it's really nothing there in Atlanta. I think it's oversaturated. Houston is another good place. Houston is a great place, but I would choose Dallas over Houston. I don't mess with Sunbelt states because Texas is one, but it's different. But places like Arizona and Florida, because again, it's about tourism, and when you're dealing with tourism, the wages are low, and the housing is always high, and they're having that problem in Phoenix. I would not recommend anybody go to Vegas, because Vegas is a tourist destination. If them casinos hurting, you hurting. Everything is based on that casino and people gambling. So yeah, I even consider Michigan outside of Detroit. They have
Uh-huh.
a lot of nice cities in Michigan outside Detroit, and Michigan is really pretty outside of Detroit. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Detroit, but we know that Detroit is trying to make a rebound. So yeah.
Uh-huh. My cousin's in Dallas, and when I went to my aunt's, she had her birthday party, and I was just talking to him about Dallas. So I did speak to him about um Dallas for sure,
Yeah.
and so I might go visit him, soon and
Yeah.
see.
Charlotte, North Carolina, and Raleigh, Durham are great places. But, even the Winston-Salems and the Burlingtons are nice. North Carolina overall, besides their off and on politics, I think is a good place. Atlanta is Georgia. That if you're gonna move to Georgia, it's got to be Atlanta. Ain't nothing going on too much in Savannah. Everything gears around Atlanta and Georgia. um if I were ever to move, so say if I hit the lottery, hypothetically, I would definitely move between Mobile and Pensacola. I don't want to be in Florida per se, but I want to get in a place where my housing money is gonna go for it, and I want to be between two states. So it would be Alabama and Florida. So I would live maybe in Foley or someplace like that between Mobile and Florida. So if I need to get home to family, I'm not that far. I'm still in Florida.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but you gotta. It's a lot of places you all play. Now I'm gonna be serious. Places like Alabama and Mississippi, they're going to start getting popular as these places start getting more expensive, because people want a place where they can get some good property and some land. And you watch, give it a couple of years, you're going to see things change. The only thing is, when those people start moving in, you're going to see places like Mississippi get a lot of infrastructure, because right now Mississippi only has one level trauma one hospital, and that's in Jackson. And most of the people who have acquired wealth in Mississippi, who need those things, they either live on the outskirts of Memphis in northern Mississippi, or they live very close to a state that you can get to another place where you can get that help. But Jackson has the only level trauma one hospital in the state of Mississippi, and that's not saying a lot. And the school system is not the school systems are not the best, and we can see what's going on. So yeah,
But listen, brother Jay, I gotta go. I don't want to go, but I gotta go
I
because
gotta go too, girl. I gotta go because I gotta get ready because somebody need to go see their daddy.
I gotta find my niece a Barbie. Thank God she doesn't care what kind of Barbie, and
Okay.
um, that means I gotta go out in these streets and maybe get somebody up off of a Barbie, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
Well, all I know is Amazon Prime has been my best friend, and Cash App
It's
and Venmo.
delivery now, and I just found out because I went to go. I was gonna get. I didn't know what I was gonna get. Right, so I'm looking
Hmm.
for like a really nice bath toys, like some ones that'll have her in that tub for like a good amount of time. And
Hmm.
my sister mentioned that she mentioned a Barbie, which I wanted to get her one. And so now I gotta get one because she is spoiled and she understands Christmas now because she's going toys. I'm like, oh God, you get it? Okay, it's about to be a wrap. So I gotta go get her some
Well,
stuff.
I gotta go myself. So look, y'all, it was real. We said a lot of things, and we'll see what happens. Again, the views that are expressed on this show is not those of the host, and I just want to put that out there. But thank you again, T Lounge. Enjoy your holiday, you all. I might be on later on tonight.
All right. If I'm I'll come through if you come on. All right.
All
Okay.
right,
See you
y'all
later.
take care. Peace and love. Y'all take care. All right, y'all take care. Peace and love.